What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $600 second stimulus check update and your $2,000 third stimulus check update. In this video, we have some breaking news directly from the White House. We're going to hear from President Joe Biden. We're going to hear from Vice President Kamala Harris and the new Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen on the next stimulus package. And we have some really surprising, unexpected news from Republicans in Congress that I was pretty shocked at. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos, and give this video a like. It really helps out our channel. All right, guys, let's jump right in. Johnson & Johnson's new one-shot vaccine could be available in the United States here, coming out pretty shortly. This is very important because it's just a one-shot vaccine and you're done. You do not need to get two shots. However, the vaccine is less effective, mainly probably because you're only getting one shot, not two. Johnson & Johnson said their single-shot vaccine was shown to be 66% effective in preventing moderate and severe disease in a global phase 3 trial, the company announced. The vaccine is 85% effective at preventing hospitalization and death in all regions where it was tested. However, the vaccine, as expected, is a little bit less effective, even less than that, based on the different mutations of the virus. For example, in South Africa, where 95% of the cases are with the variant known as the B1351, the South African variant, was only 57% effective in South Africa. This pretty much goes along with both Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine, that both of them are a little bit less effective to the mutated strains, but are still pretty decently well effective. The effectiveness goes down by about 10 or 20% depending on which mutation and what the test is. But remember, those need two shots 28 days at least apart. In Congress, Republicans and now Republican Senator Ted Cruz are actually considering putting a term limit proposal out there, a bill to actually limit the terms that a senator or a House representative can run for, so that we don't see people in Congress for 30 years plus, exactly like Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell have done. Republican Senator Ted Cruz just joined 5 other Republicans this week in moving to restrict the number of times members of Congress can be reelected. The legislation calls for preventing senators from serving more than 2 6-year terms, so 12 years for a senator, and for U.S. House of Representative members from more than serving 3 2-year terms, which is only 6 years total for the House. Ted Cruz says, quote, "Every year Congress spends billions of dollars on giveaways for the well-connected. Washington insiders get taxpayer money and members of Congress get reelected, all while the system fails the American people," Ted Cruz said in a press release. Republican Senator Pat Toomey says, "I have long been a supporter of congressional term limits, which would infuse Congress with real-world experience, perspective, and sensibilities. Term limits also have the added benefit of being supported by supermajorities of Republicans and Democrats." Now, well, the problem with a bill like this is Congress has to be the ones to pass it. Nancy Pelosi, the leader of the House, and Mitch McConnell, the leader of the Republicans in the Senate, have both been in Congress for over 30 years each. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer from the Democrats has been a senator since 1998, so about 22, 23 years. So, yeah, basically, if they pass a bill, it's kind of crazy to consider that they would pass a bill to limit term limits, just like the president. We know the president has only a 2-limit term for a total of 8 years, that Congress has to pass the own bill to limit their own terms. And what's interesting is, if it became effective immediately upon passage, what would happen to the guys that have been in Congress for 22 to 32 years? Would they have to leave immediately? Would they have to leave when their term is over? Would it not count for anybody grandfathered in, and they'd still be able to serve, say, an additional 12 years from there? And then another question is that, would they be able to serve in the House and the Senate? So, for example, this term limit would be 12 years in the Senate and 6 years in the House. Could you do both, which would be a total of 18 years? Strangely enough, 18 years would still be much better than a lot of people that have been in Congress for 20 or 30 or more years. And I think a vast majority of Americans support term limits because it just feels like a lot of people that have been in Congress for decades and decades are a little bit out of touch with the average everyday American person who might be struggling to pay their bills. Let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comments. But if they could get this passed, it would be huge, huge news, especially coming from Congress. All right, next, let's go directly to the White House where we will hear from President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and the new Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen on the next stimulus package.
Question here with Secretary Yellen and my economic team to discuss the economic consequences of Congress failing to pass our American Rescue Plan. There is an overwhelming consensus among economists, left, right, and center, that this is a unique moment in this crisis. And the cost of inaction is high, the cost of inaction is high, and it's growing every day. The crisis itself is accelerating. 900,000 more Americans filed for unemployment insurance, and this week alone. 30 million Americans don't have enough food to eat this week, and interest rates are at historic lows, and the return on smart investments in the economy have never been higher. And it's not just me saying this. As I said, it's a consensus among the vast majority of leading economists in the country, as I said, left, right, and center, including advisors to former President Trump and George W. Bush. And so I've been meeting all morning with other folks as well. The notion here is we have to act now. There's no time for any delay. And so we could end up with 4 million fewer jobs this year, according to Moody's, a Wall Street firm, and it could take a year longer to return to full employment if we don't act and don't act now. We could see an entire cohort of kids with a lower lifetime earnings because they're deprived of another semester of school. Millions of parents, and maybe some of you, millions of parents are, particularly moms, are forced to stay home, reducing the family wages, and if they're a single wage earner, it's really difficult, and future job prospects that they have no choice but to stay home and take care of their children. Millions of people are out of work, unemployed. Future millions are held back for no good reason other than our failure to act. So the choice couldn't be clearer. We have learned from past crises the risk is not doing too much, the risk is not doing enough. And this is the time to act now. I've asked Secretary Yellen, who's been leading this effort, to come in and we're going to go into some detail among ourselves, but I think she has a statement to make as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Well, there is a huge amount of pain in our economy right now, and it was evident in the data released yesterday. Over 1 million people applied for unemployment insurance last week, and that's far more than in the worst week of the Great Recession. And economists agree that if there's not more help, many more people will lose their small businesses, the roofs over their heads, and the ability to feed their families. And we need to help those people before the virus is brought under control. The President's American Rescue Plan will help millions of people make it to the other side of this pandemic. And it will also make some smart investments to get our economy back on track. I want to emphasize the President is absolutely right. The price of doing nothing is much higher than the price of doing something, and doing something big. We need to act now, and the benefits of acting now and acting big will far outweigh the costs in the long run.
Thank you guys.
Mr. President, what do you think of the Johnson & Johnson results?
Let's go. Thank you guys.
I'm waiting to hear from my team. I'm waiting to hear from the team on the detail of it. I saw the news reported this morning. I haven't had a chance to speak with Dr. Fauci. One point I want to make that the Secretary made. and let's get this straight. It's not only that people will be badly, badly hurt if we don't pass this package in terms of increased rate of death, in terms of poverty, a whole range of things. But we will also be hurt long-term economically. Economically. We need to make these investments so the economy can grow the remainder of this year and next year. The investments now will help the economy grow. It will not, in fact, put a drag on the economy of spending this money. It'll do the exact opposite. So thank you all very much.
So let me know your thoughts of what they said down below in the comments. I personally think that everything they're saying basically goes with what economists say. And, you know, Janet Yellen is an economist. She's the former Federal Reserve chairman. Now she's the Treasury Secretary. And if you hear what she just said and what any economist says is that basically we have to, what Joe Biden says, we have to invest now with stimulus packages, probably more than just this one, to bring us out of the recession and out of the depression. And it will actually pay for itself. Spending the money now will actually pay for itself over the long run by getting us out of the hole earlier. A lot of economists point back to the 2008, 2009 recession, where it took us years to kind of get different levels of the economy back to where it was. And if this takes us years more from here to get out of this recession, then basically, you know, it'll hurt more in the long run, economically, with jobs and with, you know, with people's lives, than it will by spending money, stimulus package money now. Now, here's the thing is I don't really see any way that they can't pass this package because of, you know, this little guy right here that basically says they can pass the package in the Senate with only 51 votes. So really, I think it's just a matter of time and what's in the bill. That's where the details of this bill are going to be very important. What's in the bill? Who gets checks? Who gets different packages of money, buckets of money, like rental assistance, hazard pay, the money for sick leave for the virus that can be up to $1,400 per week. All those different kind of things. Money that's going to go to states and cities. How much money is going to go to states and cities? How much of that states and city money will come back to us in the form of mortgage and rental assistance and stimulus checks on the local level, like the stimulus check that's being passed in California right now for $600. This one right here, directly from the office of the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, a budget proposal to help low-income Californians through $600 rapid cash payments or stimulus payments, and calls for the extension of the eviction moratorium. The eviction moratorium was just extended by Governor Newsom in California, and these $600 stimulus checks for roughly 4 million low-income Californians, coupled with the federal stimulus check, could receive $1,200 to $600 plus the $600 on the state level. Now, it's quite possible that we will see more stimulus payments like this on the state and local city level. I know we've seen several come out from Florida, Orange County, California, passed several rounds of $1,000 stimulus checks for Orange County, California. We had a payment from North Carolina. I think it was $335. And we've had various stimulus checks passed on the state and local city level in the past. This is in addition to mortgage and rental assistance, which we will be going over in upcoming episodes. So make sure you're subscribed down below so you don't miss out on new videos. Click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live. Click it. Click all notifications. We will have another video at 11 p.m. tonight. Remember, new videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You won't get a notification for the 11 p.m., only for the first 3 videos of the day. So you just got to remember the 11 p.m. time slot. Go on YouTube and type in It's Jimmy, and you will see it. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income by selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.